Recording has started.
Well, warm welcome to you all and very warm good evening. Thank you for being with us here today on the 7th day of the 4th batch of Executive Development Program. We are very happy to see you here and extend our deep gratitude for your contribution in making this series a successful one. My deep gratitude to ICAI President CA Nihar Jombusaria sir, ICAI Vice President CA Dr. Devashish Mitra sir, ICAI Acting Secretary CA Dr. Jaykumar Batra sir, Central Council members. And this initiative by a committee for members in industry and business is under the vision and leadership of Central Council members, Chairman CA Hansraj Juk sir, and Vice Chairman of the committee, Central Council member CA Durgesh Kabra. With the vision of Chuk sir and Kabra sir, we have come so far that we are completing the 4th batch today since we started this series on April 21st. And there are 2 more batches to go in this series, and we are very happy that your participation had made this successful and had allowed the committee to continue and ensure that those members, you young members who have passed in the last 3 years, have a specific executive development program for you. Please make a note that in this series, all the programs, all the batches which have happened are available in recorded webcast area and also in ICAI YouTube channel, CHU. And if you have missed any of these sessions, you can always go back and have a look. Today, we have 2 sessions where we start with a very interesting topic. I'm really curious to know what will happen in that. And second is one of our most favorite professional network, LinkedIn. Engage and succeed in LinkedIn. So we start today with a very learned member of ours who is based in Muscat. And allow me to share some more details about our esteemed speaker, CA Mubin Khan. Mubin is a chartered accountant by profession, and he has also completed CIA, CISA, and DISA. Mubin is the past chairman of our Muscat chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and he also served as vice president in the Oman chapter of Institute of Internal Audit. He established and led internal audit, fraud and dispute service line in Deloitte, Oman before joining Capital Market Authority, where he conducted several regulatory investigations and immensely contributed to radical regulatory reforms in the Sultanate of Oman to further strengthen corporate governance framework. Mubin had also worked on a United Nations mission in Africa on secondment. As I said, he is a chartered accountant, certified internal auditor, and certified information system auditor. He specializes in fraud investigations and is credited with discovery of several fraud, both in professional practice and as a regulator of capital market, leading strong regulatory actions and court conviction. He is a regular writer and commentator in the local and regional magazines and newspapers in the Middle East on topics that include governance, risk, compliance, and fraud. Mubin also delivered technical presentations in Oman and other GCC countries. His lectures were quite popular at the annual Financial Crime Conference, jointly organized by Royal Oman Police and Bank Muscat, and he also delivered an address on fraud prevention to the state audit team of the Sultanate of Oman. Dear participants, today I have a fan movement. Fan movement, why I would say, because Mubin is though a dear friend, but first I consider him as someone who has a deep knowledge on not only the subjects which I talked about, on the regulatory framework where he worked in Big Four and then moved to the regulatory authority in Oman, but also on the other subjects, on the philosophy, management, psychology, religion, so everything. And he's very popular, though he doesn't speak much these days, and I really miss his insights when he talks about certain topics. But yeah, I do get to read his articles when it's there. And a person like Mubin, when he speaks, can really take the topic to a different level. And that is what we should be witnessing today. And from the committee, from our chairman and vice chairman, Chuksar and Kabra sir, I once again extend deep gratitude to Mubin for accepting our invitation. And thank you, Mubin bhai, for being here with us today. And I request all our participants to please give a big virtual round of applause for Mubin. See, Mubin, the screen is yours. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you, Pradeep ji. As Pradeep ji said, we are very good friends. At the same time, very generous introduction, actually more than an ICAI official, but by a friend, because, friend is forever. Thank you, Pradeep, for such a generous introduction. I will try to do justice to the topic. At the beginning, I must thank the committee for members in industry and business for inviting me to speak to our future generation of chartered accountants who are already chartered accountants. Now they're hitting the market. And the chairman, C. Hansraj Chukji, I met him around 2-3 years back. I cherish that memory. And also the vice chairman of the committee, C.A. Durgesh Kabaraji, for organizing such this very fantastic program. Friends, dear, like what I understand is that most of the audience are the newly qualified chartered accountants from 2019 batch. Let me start with this, that when I became chartered accountant, my chartered accountant under whom I did my training, CA PC Bardia ji, he called me to his office and he gave me a Guru Mantra. Actually, what happens, the new generation should always get this kind of guidance from their older generation. And he told me one thing, Mubin, I give you one simple Guru Mantra. Wherever you are, whether you are in practice or you are working in a company, if you are in practice, your client, and if you are working in a company, your bosses or the company, they should always believe that you are the best chartered accountant. You are the best person. You are the person who will bring value. And to make sure that this belief continues, you have to work hard. Qualifying chartered accountancy is not the end. It's the beginning. This is what he told me. And he also said that, listen, Mubin, we get respect today not because of what we do. To be honest, we get respect as chartered accountants today because of what other chartered accountants in the past did. They created that reputation. When I got my job offer in Oman, I didn't get job because I'm Mubin Khan. No, I got the job because I was a chartered accountant. Later on, this chartered accountant was known to be Mubin Khan. So this is what today I'll try to do. I'll pass on that message. I will do that sacred duty of sharing what I have learned in the last 20 years since I became chartered accountant with my next generation of chartered accountant. And I know that you all will do better than what we did in the past. So I'll share my screen now. So the topic which I'm going to talk about today actually is about technology. And technology has enabled a lot of things. But at the same time, we don't want to become slave of the technology. We want to continue to be the masters of the technology. This is the objective that I have kept in mind. I appreciate the technology and I will share with you my inputs on technology. But before that, I want to. The screen is moving, Prabdeep ji, because it's not moving here.
No. Can you try again?
No, we can see the first page. It says malicious.
But I'm trying to change the screen, but
You can try again. Maybe it got stuck. You can again stop and again share. Maybe then it may work.
yeah, it got stuck, it seems.
Yeah.
See, I was talking about technology. Maybe technology didn't like what I said. So no problem. But still, we will make sure that, we talk about that. So I will again try to share the screen because I think it got stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
it's okay.
Yes.
It was okay.
Yes, it moved. Yeah, the screen moved actually. Yeah, before you stop screen.
I will share it again. Can you see my next slide now?
Yes, fine.
So let me start with the success mantra. I mean, as I told you that I got the mantra from CAPC by DAG 20 years back. And now after 20 years of doing whatever I did in my professional life, what I have learned, I want to share with my next generation of chartered accountant. But before I share my success mantra, let me tell you one thing. Whenever you have a dilemma in life, before you go to any management book, go to our scriptures. Our scriptures, the old scriptures, they will guide you. This is what I have done and in my life, and I have always got the answers. What I was telling you that the future chartered accountants have to prove that they are rather better than the last generation of chartered accountants. This is how we will flourish. And there is a shlok of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Utsanna kul dharmananam manushyananam janardan narke niyatam vasubhav tirtinushruma. यदि कोई व्यक्ति अपने कुल रीति रिवाज के विपरीत आचरण करता है, if they act against the values of their society, the values of the body, like Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, he destroys himself first, and definitely he or she will affect the profession. So always remember that when you become a chartered accountant, you are no more any other individual. Anything that we do, if Mubin Khan will do something bad, before people will see Mubin Khan did, they will say, a chartered accountant, Mubin Khan did it. When I was a teenager, before becoming chartered accountant, I had so many things that I used to do. Believe me, when I got the result on 13th of July 2002, Mubin Khan before 13th of July, on 12th of July 2002, and on 13th of July 2002, these were two different individuals. Because then I, being called a chartered accountant, I was carrying the responsibility to ensure that I will not do anything that anybody will be able to raise a finger to my institute and to my profession. This is the first thing I want to share with you, friends. That you are a chartered accountant. You are not anymore anybody else. You are a chartered accountant. So always हमारे कुल और हमारी रीति रिवाज मीन्स हमारे एथिक्स, इन सब का हमेशा ख्याल रखिएगा. दिस इज माय रिक्वेस्ट टू यू. द सेकेंड बुक और द सेकेंड पर्सन whom I turn to is Acharya Chanakya. Whenever you have a dilemma in your life, friends, believe me, go back to Niti Shastra. Read it. You will find an answer. And from there I am bringing one shlok. Acharya Chanakya said one thing very beautiful. Yeshana videna tapona dhyanam jnanam nichilam na guruna dharma te murtay loke bhuvi bhar bhuta manushya rupain margash charanti. This is not this shlok, another shlok. कि जिस व्यक्ति के पास, the person who doesn't have knowledge, who doesn't have tap means hard work, who doesn't help others, that person is nothing but an animal. Te mrityaloke bhuvi bhar bhuta. On this mrityalok, he is like a waste. Another shlok which I really like is this one. And I want you to concentrate on these first three words. Anabhyase visham vidya. Anabhyase visham vidya. Vidya without practice is like poison. That is why you have to make sure that you have to update yourself continuously. The Guru Mantra from my chartered accountant under whom I did training was that your client or your boss should always believe that you are the best chartered accountant in the world. So please, qualifying as a chartered accountant is not an end. It's the beginning. This is what, my friends, I want to share with you. The success mantra which I somehow discovered in my life depends on these three words: curiosity, innovation, and speed. Be curious to know new things. Be innovative. Being curious and innovative is not sufficient if you are lazy. You have to have speed. I will give you some example from the world history. How these three words have changed the history. This is Christopher Columbus, 1491. A curious Spanish sailor starting the journey. Curious to know what lies beyond the Atlantic Sea. He is going to discover the new world. Today, what we call North and South America and Canada. Curiosity. Because of curiosity, he took the risk of starting on this voyage. You know, it took only 200 to 250 Spanish to defeat an army of the entire Aztec Empire, which is current day Mexico, and whole Inca Empire in 1533. How? Only 200 people. They colonized the entire empire. They were only 200 and 250. Innovation. Because that time when they reached at the coast of present day Mexico, Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Argentina, Latin America, the people living there, they were still having the weapon of stone and wood, bamboo sticks. They had invented steel, the steel armor, steel swords. It was impossible for the entire crowd of 10,000 bodyguards of the Montezuma, the Aztec emperor, to kill even one Spanish. That time the innovation was the steel. The innovation and the failure to innovate make somebody masters, and masters became the slave. The history tells us innovation will make you the leader. Now the same innovators, once they innovated the steel armor, they failed to innovate further. And in 1898, American Navy defeated Spanish, and all the Spanish colonies were lost. What we learn from this? We learn innovate. Innovate. Keep innovating. If you innovate and you stop innovating, somebody else will innovate. and then you will become their slave. So the masters became the slave. Third, I said, again, innovation. British colonized definitely India. And then they colonized Africa. In 1890, they had invented Maxim guns that could fire some 60 rounds in 1 minute. And there were two generals. One was Frederick Lugard and one was Rhodes, Cecil John Rhodes. They had only two Maxim guns given by the British Army, and they colonized 1/3 of Africa. You see Africa in color? All was colonized with two Maxim guns. And they continued to be the colonized countries till 1960s, 63. They all got their independence. Innovation. It was an innovation. In profession also, we have to learn to innovate. Otherwise, other professions will take over our profession. And speed is very important. You not only need to innovate, you need to innovate at a speed. Now let me take you to the 20th century. Hitler used blitzkrieg strategy by which they went up to Eiffel Towers. The essence was speed. When German forces started invading France, the French military knew that they will take at least 1 week to reach to the first point of contact where they will engage the French army. They reached within 48 hours. This was called blitzkrieg because they didn't stop. They didn't take rest. They put their entire armed, like mechanized army, because during those days there was mechanized army and there was army which was on the horsebacks. Blitzkrieg made Hitler capture most of the Europe. They were sitting at the French coast and ready to go to UK, which is Scotland, England and Ireland. Blitzkrieg, the speed. Now let me tell you, immediately after 4 years after this, Franklin Roosevelt, the American president, he had already put together the team of experts to develop the first atomic bomb, the nuclear weapon. And Hitler was also working on that. Now here, speed. If Hitler would have was able to develop the first nuclear weapon, then we were in a different world. Speed. So my friends, curiosity, innovation, and speed. This is what we need to be leader. Now I'm coming to the next part of my presentation. I will talk about the digital colonization. I spoke about the colonization where because of the innovation, the alien people landed at different part of the world. They colonized them, the entire America, the entire Australia, and the entire continents were colonized just because they were having some innovative weapons which other part of the continent didn't hear about. Now we are talking about digitization, and this digitization has brought the risk of digital colonization. Technology is required, but we always need to be master of the technology, not the slave of the technology. That is why I call it, you want to be tech savvy or you want to be tech slave. your smartphones, your devices, your computers. One thing, again, I will link it to our professional requirement is that you will get access to extremely confidential information of your clients and extremely confidential, sensitive information of your organization, because you will be sitting at the heart of the organization in the finance and accounts or in audit, or you will be conducting audit. Now, if the information that you collect from your client or company, which is stored on a device, and if that device is compromised and that information leaks out, if you go to the client and you say, I'm sorry, somebody hacked my device, then you did not follow that principle. Your client or your boss will stop thinking that you are the most intelligent, most capable professional who can be relied upon. It will not only kill your reputation, it will kill the reputation of a chartered accountant, it will kill my reputation, it will kill the reputation of the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, it will kill the reputation of the institute itself. That these people who get access to such a confidential information, they are not able to keep it confidential, and rather it got leaked out. It destroys your career. It destroys the brand CA. So now my next part of my presentation, I'm going to talk about what I have learned. Because being a regulator, I used to carry a lot of confidential information on my computer. Many a times, what is my next stand that I'm going to take in the court? The court documents, the sensitive documents, sensitive government documents. And then I started thinking that I cannot just say that I don't know anything about my laptop. I started learning. I'm not an IT expert. Whatever I have learned, I'll share with you, my next generation of chartered accountants. Let me tell you how the digitization is progressing. The world population now is 7.75 billion. And you have unique mobile phone users, 5.19 billion. You have 4.54 billion internet users. Look at the urbanization percentage is 55%, but the unique mobile users have penetration rate of 67%. The technology is penetrating each and every house, each and every pocket. And if you see the share of mobile connectivity, 73% is smartphone. Smartphone is very smart. And if you let it to be smart, it can be smarter than you. And that I'll share with you what is happening with that. In Asia, actually, mobile penetration is 103%. Asia, like almost everybody has a mobile. And the percentage of a smartphone is very high. This was a shock to me when in our region, one iPhone was hacked. Somebody got a simple SMS. You click this SMS link and iOS, which is unhackable, it was hacked. What happens when your mobile is hacked? Let me tell you why I'm talking too much about this. I can turn your mobile into a listening device. You are attending a confidential client briefing, or me, I am sitting with my legal department that time when we were fighting cases against world's MNC giants against whom we had taken actions. I never allowed anybody to bring the mobile phone, and I will never keep the mobile phone. I never trusted my mobile phone. If it is a listening device, people are listening. Your entire strategy is leaked, right? What happened with Jeff Bezos? All of you know. 36 billion went with a life partner. Look at what is happening. This Truecaller. We very happily install Truecaller on our mobile phone, right? What it does, it copies all your contacts and the names from your mobile. And then You search and you know whose number is it. But you have given lot of data to them, the names, whose mobile number it is, and this data where it is going. It was a very interesting case when anybody sitting remotely, me sitting here, if I am able to hack your car, you are having a discussion, you are where you are going, everything. Now me as a capable, the most intelligent chartered accountant, if somebody is able to get my client information from me, because I am privy to a lot of confidential stuff, my client will say, no, my chartered accountant is not the best, the most intelligent person. You have to be very careful. You all know what is Pegasus. How? Now, I am slowly moving towards the social media. Prabdeep ji was asking, Mubin, can you give me your LinkedIn link? I said, Prabdeep, I don't have LinkedIn account. Yes.
Yeah.
He's laughing, and he laughed that time also. But my friends, these are like different people have different type of. I don't have a Facebook account. I don't use Facebook. I used to have it. You should have it. But I thought that I'm not able to manage it. 20 years back, I became chartered accountant. I'm not the next generation. But let me share with you why I did that. I'm not saying don't use it. Be careful. Now let us talk about social media. Now I have shifted. I started from the actual colonization, then I am talking about digital colonization, then I am now shifting to the social media. Why? Because social media, use it, but use it carefully so that nobody can compromise your devices on which you are using social media, and they can steal your client information or company information. That is my objective. I am also a big fan of social media. Total number of active social media users now 3.8 billion. Remember, 7.75 billion is the total world population. 3.8 billion are on social media. Huge penetration. Facebook, 2.4 billion people are on Facebook. 2 billion people are very active in YouTube. This 1.6 actually now has become close to 2 billion. This number has been updated. Facebook Messenger, WeChat, and it goes on. I'm a very big fan of Facebook. But the way the people having malicious intent have used Facebook to hack into my system, that is the risk. That is why I had a computer on which I used to keep my regulatory document. That computer I never used to access anything except accessing my internal network. I thought that this is some sort of a devil which I don't know, and I'm using it. Now let me give you some facts about Facebook. How it has grown. From 100,000, which is I put at 0.1 million, to 2.5 million, 2.4 billion, which is 2,414 million users. Look at the speed. If you're using Facebook and you are too much addicted to Facebook, when you log in, first of all, your location based on your IP is registered there. Which part of the world you are now. If you are on a very confidential mission of your client, you are going to have some sort of an acquisition deal, merger acquisition deal. If somebody is able to get this data, they know which part of the world you are, because you are continuously checking, I posted the picture of my doggy and I want to know how many likes I got, Relationship monitoring. The way, my niece, she wanted to add me to Facebook. Chachu, I want to add you on Facebook when I had the Facebook. I said no, because being a regulator, I have a lot of very good friends. And I don't want those very good friends to know my weaknesses, my family members. Names tagging with photo. What we have done, We have helped them to create the world's largest database ever created where names can be associated with the face. Because you keep tagging somebody who is not using Facebook. Mubin is not using Facebook, but people keep tagging in the photo, So that database is created. And this database helps in the facial recognition. Any part of the world, anywhere in the world, if you are captured by a camera that has facial recognition software attached, your location can be known. Where you are. We sell out our private information. This is what? We never realized when we were tagging friends that we are contributing to the creation of this database, which is outside the border of our country. Now, confidentiality of your movement, where you are, what you are doing. A chartered accountant, my client will say he's the most intelligent chartered accountant. I gave him a task to finish. He is doing it. Nobody knows where he is. He will deliver the result. I have to be the most intelligent chartered accountant in the eyes of my client and my boss. I am still following the same mantra that CAPC Badiaji gave me in 2002. Mubin, always make sure your client believes you are the most intelligent person on earth and your boss believes you are the most smart guy in this world. You are a chartered accountant. So we have to understand the technology so that we can maintain that brand. So do you realize using this free social media, what we have unintentionally done? We have helped in the creation of the largest ever database in the human history that has not been heard of. I call it digital colonization. Information is the weapon. And this information, my country, our people, their data has been captured and it's not in our country. And when I read that our government is really taking it very seriously with all these so-called tech giants, I feel happy that people realize what's happening. You all have heard about Cambridge Analytica. I have one sincere advice to my friends. Please don't access your social media accounts on your office computers. Please don't do it. We don't know what else is there. We don't understand this. First of all, we don't understand the business model till today. We don't understand the business model of so-called free. Remember, when something is free, you are not the customer. You are the product. And these are some data how, if you see, Android users, they access their social media account too much on their devices. iPhone users, not those many. There is a differentiation of people who can afford this very expensive stuff called iPhone. Those people, they are cautious and they are more cautious and they don't use their phone. Because if I hack your phone, I know your call details. I know whom you are talking to. If I am able to listen to your calls, I know what you are talking to. A confidential client information. You're talking to your client asks you to do something and you are going to do it. And if somebody else knows, that person will harm your client, that person will harm your boss, your organization, and that will harm you. This I use because I don't have a choice. So I use this. But I have made sure that I take care of the risks. Let me tell you about this. Look at this map. Very interesting map. If you see that WhatsApp has been developed in North America, but it is not used in North America. I'm not an expert, I don't know. I don't know the reason. It's not used. If you see, the entire North America and Canada is pasted blue. Blue means it is Facebook Messenger. If you look at India and Africa, most of the part of it is green, which is WhatsApp is very popular here. I have never understood why it is like that. And definitely I would like to learn about it. If you have any questions, friends, you can communicate those questions to the moderators, and then at the end of the session, I will try to answer your questions based on the timing.
Yeah, Mubin bhai, we have a couple of questions. So once you are ready, I will read it out. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's I have already taken around 40 minutes, so I'll try to finish fast so that we can take questions. And same is the WhatsApp journey from 200 million to 2,000 million, 2 billion. Whenever you log in, whenever you access, based on IP address, your location, your call history, private chat monitoring, contacts monitoring. People say encryption. I don't believe in encryption. If it is encrypted, then how the messages are being leaked. So be very careful when you use, and this is the beautiful feature which my generation of chartered accountants, like I'm a 20 years, I qualified 20 years before. I never knew that my phone, if somebody scans this code, then my WhatsApp will be on somebody else's laptop, which I will not know. Whatever I'm chatting, that person is reading, So you or the next generation must be aware about it. Be very careful. Let me talk about Google. I am a very big Google fan. 98% of such business is controlled by Google. As a proud Indian, I am waiting for a day when our Indian technological experts and Indian minds will develop a search engine better than Google. Google is the best product, and this is what. But let us see the monopolization, what has happened. How everything is being controlled. And I will tell you the risk and how it has grown. It has grown exponentially. But the problem is that one day I was just going through my Google account, and I found that it had the history of all the places where I have ever been. I got scared because there was a setting which I forgot to pause. I visited Delhi and I was booking my tickets, hotel tickets and airline tickets, and those emails were coming to my Gmail. But I never realized that if it comes to Gmail, it recognizes this is a hotel or this is an airline ticket. Everything I found in the history, nothing is private. This is my last India trip. Everything was captured there. I know where I was. Why are you keeping track of my movements? That is the risk. If my information is so available with some other party, I'm not the most intelligent, most smart chartered accountant that my client should believe. My web search history for 10 years, I was so stupid for 10 years, I kept using it. Everything was saved there because I had not paused it. Be careful about that. Every video that I searched, link was saved there. I paused it. After 10 years. Your smartphone, we were talking about this, right? How the phone was hacked. How did it happen? There is a vulnerability. Nothing is perfect. Using this vulnerability, a company developed Pegasus. And they released, actually coincidentally, when this happened, I had written an article and I had sent it to Times of Oman to publish it. They took some time and they published it on 28th. Actually, I had written it around 15 days back. This vulnerability was discovered on 25th of August, 2016. The article was published on 28th of August. So somehow, in this, I had written a very detailed article how to protect your mobile devices. WhatsApp was used to hack iPhone. This is what happened with the Jeff Bezos. They placed the video call and it was hacked. I keep searching that I could put an antivirus. I love my phone, iPhone. I'm not able to find it. Android is no different. your assistant like Siri and other assistant, they keep listening. Even if you are not hacked, these devices are listening to you. Please be aware when you are talking about confidential matters. Keep your devices away. You have to be that intelligent chartered accountant who cannot be compromised. And if you see that there was a fight between the giants, it was not only the smartphone market share battle, something more than that. And if you see the way the global smartphone market share is moving, actually it is moving along with the political requirements. And now the next is the wearable gadgets, where your health history, if I hack your wearable gadget which you are wearing, I will know when you are running, I will know when you are jogging, I will know what is your heartbeat, I will know what health problems you have, I will hear, again, the compromise of confidentiality. Chartered accountants are respected because people know that if I tell something to my chartered accountant, it's like I told something to a stone, to a rock, because it will not go anywhere. That is why we are trusted. We are the custodian of the extremely confidential and sensitive information wherever we are. And that is why we have to be masters of the technology, use it, but keep all these facts in mind. How the wearable is going to change. If you're, this is the screenshot of one application that if I compromise your phone, everything, your emails, your SMS, everything, it is visible, and it's a very simple tool available. It's visible to me on my screen. And what has happened in this technology race is that we are giving our biometric details, we are giving our voice samples, everything is going to a cloud. The cloud is beyond our controls. See, you see, this is the actual screenshot of my phone. How much data I have on cloud? Only 400 KB. Because first thing I did, I disabled. I don't want to keep backup anywhere. So, you are talking about phone number masking. You chartered accountants, you should be well aware, and rather you should educate your clients. Your location is very important. So if you see, if you don't disable the location tracing, then your location for years together will be mapped. Make sure your phone is not sharing location. No need for that. You have to check all the settings. Use technology, but be very careful. See that if somebody has changed the setting and your live location is shared with somebody, especially husbands. My friends, most of you, my young generation, you will get married. This setting, please be careful. On a lighter side. Now I'm coming to emails. Always remember that email masking is a fact. Please search on and a little bit read on this. You will receive an email from a domain. I can send you email from your email ID to you. It is possible. If you search this article, if you find on internet, I had done a little bit of research and I had written on email masking. Because if somebody is able to fool you, somebody writes an email from your client's email ID from your client domain. It will not be from client domain. And he asks, can you send me that document which I gave you, or my IT calculation, income tax calculation, or my GST calculation and all. And without realizing that email did not come from your client, you send that information. And when your client comes to know that information has fallen in the wrong hands, he will say, oh, my chartered accountant is not the most intelligent person. So you have to learn about the email masking. Always remember, any email that you write can be read by others. In Exchange server, I did this research. All you have one email box. Your IT guy can read all your emails. As simple as that. Password, this password, that password, nothing works. So be very careful that you don't put lot of sensitive information on emails. Better to meet in office. You have to be that most smart, intelligent chartered accountant. And in your office, make sure your devices are not compromised. Keyloggers are there. You should not depend on anybody else who knows IT. The intelligent chartered accountant will be tech master, not tech slave. Then only the world will say, my chartered accountant is the smartest person. And that is the brand CA. So you have to make sure that there is something called remote desktop. I'm not a technical guy, but your IT guy can use this. You will know when remote desktop is used, and he can see your screen. But there is another software. If it is installed on your computer, the person will see your screen. The person can see what you are typing and you will not know. So whatever you are typing, whatever you are sending, that somebody else is knowing, and that information can be leaked. You have to be careful. Make sure nobody is able to fool you just because you didn't have time to spend understanding the technology. Do some research. And I have, last 5 minutes, I just want to tell you one thing that I have learned and that I practice. I do not keep internet connection on my devices always on. I will switch on the internet, I will check, and after I am done, I switch off the internet. At home, I don't keep always connected to Wi-Fi. Whatever I can do with your device, if your device is not connected to an active internet connection, I cannot track you, I cannot listen to your conversation, I cannot do anything. That will cripple me. So please have a habit that you should connect when you need and disconnect. I am sharing with you whatever I have learned. This free Wi-Fi, now data is very cheap. Avoid. Because this free Wi-Fi, when you connect to a network, it can compromise your device. Don't fall for free Wi-Fi. One more thing, don't give your devices your names. You should give some fancy name. Don't give devices names, because people can identify whether you are there or you are not there. People can identify which device to hack. If you have given your device your name, and if you are accessing a free Wi-Fi and somebody knows that you are there and he wants to hack your device, he knows which device to hack. Give some fancy name. Nightingale, singing bird, hummingbird, some good name, Or give the name of the river which you like, or the country you like food you like, biryani, Nothing. Give some funny names. This is my advice. I have one more advice, that please don't use the services offered by one particular service provider for everything. Like you are using search engine same, you are using browser from the same provider, you are using the video services provided by the email service provided by the same provider. Because what will happen, like I showed you my details were captured, your details will be in one place. Rather, use a combination. If you are using search engine use different browser, use different map. We cannot avoid technology, but we can optimize, use different email. Then your information is not concentrated at one place. Or if you are using this search engine, use this browser, use this map application and use some other email. This is what I have learned. Actually, for 10 years, I was ignorant. And when I learned, this is what I am sharing with you, friends, what I have learned. When you use your credit card and debit card, that gives the information where you are on the server of the card provider. So, if you are really, you want to keep everything private, avoid this. My advice, which I have learned and I have applied, don't use any cloud to store your data. This is my advice. Because if something is on cloud, this data, I believe, is gone. It's compromised. I mean, rather, the storage devices are so cheap now. Keep your data. Even when you will start an office, tell your office staff, don't keep any data on any cloud, because this is client data, and if it is leaked, it will affect our brand. You are using free services. Be very careful. Translation. Don't let people put confidential things to translate, because they all keep track of what you're translating. And your smartphone, please, after every update, check. Please, nobody should be able to blackmail you. Sometimes you are an ethical chartered accountant. You have your values. You don't want to do anything against the kul. You want to follow the best ethical life, but somebody compromises you. Nobody should be able to compromise you. People compromise you by various means. Thank you very much. Any of you, if you want to connect with me, as I told you, I don't have those accounts on Facebook, LinkedIn, or other places. You are always welcome. I use Gmail. Till today I use, but I have changed all the setting to make sure that I continue to be the master of the technology and don't become the slave. Thank you very much. Prabdeep ji, I'm done.
Yeah, yes, thank you so much, Mubin. I will just share a couple of questions. I believe that you have answered most of these, but still, if you have something to add. We have a similar kind of a question from Omkar and Shrishti. I will also read out what Omkar has written and what Shrishti has written. Omkar says, but in this digital era, if you are not going to be active on social media, then how to develop network, be connected and get updates? That is what Omkar has written. Shrishti says, please guide the solution, as well as we can't help but use these technologies on daily basis.
Yeah, see, let me tell you one thing. When I decided not to be on LinkedIn, I decided at a stage of my career where I thought that maybe the value that networking will bring to me as a regulator, I didn't want people to know my entire history. I didn't want people to know who are my friends, because in my social media accounts, I was having big people who are heading sensitive government entities as my contact, right? I didn't want people, because I reached to a level of my career where confidentiality was more important than developing my network. You please use it. I advise young chartered accountants, use it, capitalize on that, create a big network, and you please be careful. This is what I'm saying. This is the necessary devil. If I'm not having it, it doesn't mean that you don't have it. You have it. You have to have it. How you will develop your network? But be careful. Me, at this stage, after 20 years of becoming a chartered accountant and occupying a very sensitive position, I took a conscious decision that now I don't want my information and people whom I know to be public. That is why I left. But I capitalized on that and I gained from that when I was using it. This is what I can tell you. Because why I then decided to go out of this Facebook. I mean, LinkedIn is really required, but Facebook sometimes it becomes an addiction. And I thought that it was threatening my, I wanted to be discreet at this stage of my career. That is why I left. But you should use it.
Yeah. Mubin bhai, we have couple of more statements. Shrishti in the beginning has said very well said, Mubin sir. Thank you for a very powerful start of this session. And she has some other questions also about what technical skills we should possess. Should we use iPhones for official work? And is data reliable these days? If you can quickly comment.
You should use. What I'm saying is that know the settings. Now, let me tell you about iPhone. By default, when you buy a new iPhone, iCloud is activated. It is taking your data automatically. You have to go and you have to disable. I don't want iCloud backup. I don't want to keep my data on your cloud. Because in iPhone there is one setting, significant locations. The place where you are going too much, it will accumulate it in that under significant locations. I know where I was. Why my device is keeping that data that I go to ITO in head office of my institute too frequently? Because this data is there. The data is there, and one day we will come to know that that data has been compromised. So what I'm saying is that I use iPhone. Till today I am using it, but I have disabled. I still use Google. I still use Gmail, but I have gone and I have paused all that tracking. I don't want anybody, like a platform to track me. So you use it. Without technology, we will not survive. We have to be innovative. We have to be seen as intelligent people. We have to be seen tech-savvy people. But everywhere, please keep in mind, like now you can store all your password in password locker or something. That password locker itself will get compromised. You will lose all your password. Do you believe that I keep all my password in a hard copy diary? I don't keep it in notes. Because I trust that nobody will be able to get the details from my diary. All my passwords. So you have to be very careful. Why I'm saying this? If even one chartered accountant's laptop is compromised and a very sensitive data, like for me, very sensitive regulatory data was compromised, I would have lost all my reputation that I built here in one day. Whose laptop was it? Mubin Khan's laptop. The chartered accountant. These chartered accountants, I did not destroy my name. I destroy my brand. That is why the entire purpose of this presentation, not to take you away from technology, use the technology, but be careful. And don't be completely ignorant about how this technology can enslave you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mubin bhai. I will request our committee secretary, G. Ranganathan ji, to please propose a vote of thanks to you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to propose a vote of thanks here, Mubin Khan. Your Guru Mantra, which you... I'm sorry? Yeah, the Guru Mantra which you passed on to the young members was fantastic. You said always work hard to earn the trust and confidence of the people that you work for. You advise our young members to follow ethics of profession at all times and to use one's knowledge into practice, otherwise the education is waste. This is from Chanakya's quote. And now you said success depends upon curiosity, innovation and the speed. And you demonstrated this with historical instances. You talked about penetration of technology to rural population. It's true. The best advice I would say you gave was not to access social media platforms from one's office computer, as this can compromise confidential data with the hackers. The cautious approach to use of Wi-Fi was wonderful. Surely, I feel if someone follows the way that you have shown, one will be master of technology and not its slave. Thank you so very much, CA Mubin Khan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mubin bhai. We move on with the vision. With the vision of Chuk sir and Kabra sir, we move on to the last session of this fourth batch with Mr. Vishal Pandey, who is based out of Dubai, UAE. And we are touching upon the LinkedIn network, that how you can engage, connecting well to the theme which Mubin has started. And allow me to share some more details about Vishal. Vishal is a director in Glasgow Consulting Group. He is a Dubai-based market entry an insights advisor who has lived and worked in the UK, India, and across the Middle East. Previously, as a search lead with Deloitte Consulting's Dubai offices, he was part of a team responsible for strategy and operations assignments across the Middle East and North Africa region. Vishal has been involved in over 750 research plus market entry engagements, mostly across MENA and South Asia region in his career spanning 18 years across a diverse set of industries. He is specialized as a market entry and go-to-market strategy specialist. Vishal holds an MSc in real estate and regeneration from the University of Glasgow, UNWTO Themis degree in tourism and international cooperation for development from the George Washington University, and a degree in hotel management. He is currently a doctoral scholar in management at the Jindal Global Business School. So Vishal, I got connected with Vishal through my friends who work in Deloitte, and I think since I got connected with Vishal, my relationship with Vishal is more than the colleagues who had connected me to Vishal. And I would like to say he's talking about LinkedIn today. A few days back, I saw a couple of my chartered accountant friends whose post had gone viral on LinkedIn, and it had 200,000 views. And I told that friend that it may get 1 million views, but what happened? The likes stopped and the views didn't move to 1 million. But later on, just after a week, he had another post which got viral and got 1.5 million views, and when it had got 38,000 likes or something, the views were invisible. So that's why I reached out to Vishal and I asked that, Vishal, please tell me, you had told me 1 year back that one of your posts had went viral, which had 1 million views. Can you please share with me? I want to see. So after a few days, you searched and you shared with me. But what happened, I would like to tell the participants that later on, after 15-20 days, I think, Vishal, you came back to me and you shared a post which had double likes. So definitely must have double views. So you are the person who's more than one time a LinkedIn post has gone viral. Like Mubin was also mentioning that if the thing goes viral, you never know that how the things may change for us. So therefore, I think you are the best person to tell us about LinkedIn. In a very short time, we have just 35-40 minutes, but I'm sure whatever you will share with us, that will make a big difference in everyone's lives. And thank you for accepting the invite. Thank you for being here. I request all our participants, young participants present here, to please give a big virtual round of applause for Vishal. And Vishal, the screen is yours now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pradeep ji. It's been an honor knowing the ICAI and its good initiatives over the years. I have plenty of friends having worked in Deloitte. I may probably not be able to take all the names. So thanks to you and Ranganathan ji for inviting me for this talk. And I would also like to take this honor and to thank the chairman, CA Hansraj Chuk, Vice Chairman CA Durgesh Kabra, for this great initiative, and why I am here. When I got on the phone with Pradeep, he said, I want to do a topic which I said, Pradeep, who is the target audience? So he said, these are young kids, young pass outs, and we all have our own personalities, right? By nature, I'm also quite an introvert person, right? So I'm gonna basically the purpose of this, and I would also like to thank Mr. Mubin Khan. Very, very stimulating, talk. We all learn from each other, and since I come from that school of thought that we are constant learners, I have now enrolled for a PhD program. So we all need to constantly learn, because the world is changing, the expectations are changing, how the consumers looks at brands, those are changing. And the way we shop, right, has changed. If you would have seen over the last 1.5 years, how we make our choices, that has changed. So a lot has moved. If I have to just talk about, the restaurant industry, the business model has moved a lot online, right? So the purpose of today's talk, and I think Pradeep ji did a very good introduction, what he gave was a story. So the purpose of my whole deck, 35 slides, is to instigate you, motivate you that, we all have very compelling stories. We all have our own portions of struggles as a child, as a student, as your CA journey would have been full of struggles. So I think there are a lot of stories around that, and we're gonna now link those stories with the social media and with Mr. Mubin's permission, where he allows us to, use social media in a right way. On one side, we need to know what are the do's and don'ts, what are my company limitations, and what part of my personal life I'm willing to share. So that's me presenting you to you. I've been in the Middle East region.
Vishal, can you change it to slideshow mode? It hasn't been changed yet.
Okay. Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, now perfect.
Okay, so quickly, the presentation is divided into these 4 headings. So we initially going to start, and I'll tell you why the networking word is very important. And so we're going to first discuss, how LinkedIn is linked to networking. And then we're going to talk about how are each one of, as fresh CAs starting out our career journeys, how are we very integral part of the organization? The organization is us. We are the organization, right? We are all in the people's business, right? We are advising clients. It's people to people business that we are in. In a way, we are professional services. We are people's business, right? So it's very important that we know what is happening around us. From there, I will take you to quickly develop an understanding, and maybe with this, maybe I can announce, a quick question, what I call a poll question. And Mr. Pradeep, if you can respond. So I just want all the, young CAs to probably put their response. Do you people use LinkedIn? So maybe you can respond with a yes and no, right? So that will just help me understand the level of intensity or engagement that you're currently on. So based on that, I will further tailor my presentation. So I'll leave this for 20-30 seconds. I'll move on. So from an agenda point of view, we will then move into some best practices. And so here we are. I have shared in this slide, basically, if I may start with, why is networking important? I mean, you can type some of the, your responses. I know, I've known Pradeep ji for a long time. I believe he's a great networker because he connects with stories. He builds those lasting relationships. And when you build those lasting relationships, friendships, which happen at the workplace, which happen after your workplace, right? When we go out for lunch as a team, right? Or we visit somebody's home for Eid, Diwali, what are we doing? We are building relationships within the team, and we can do the same with our clients, right? So we do this because we have a lot of thoughts, ideas, we want to, engage with that. And it is also helping us to increase our creative streak. It is also gives us self-confidence, right? So I learned something. So in Mr. Mubin's presentation, I picked up a few things, right? Because I was listening as a student. So I picked up a few things. I'm going to go and relook at my, phone settings. I think it's very important in the age we live in. So eventually, networking, if I want to put it straight, for everyone's perspective, Pradeep, you can then respond to me after I finish this one.
Yeah, I will tell you, Vishal, we have around 30 responses and everyone has said yes. Okay. And other thing, there are some responses where there's some comments are there. So I will only read out those where there are some extra comments apart from yes. Where Omkar says that after clearing CA final in last 4-5 months, I gained my network significantly on LinkedIn. And Srishti says for building our solid support system, we need networking. Yeah. So
Perfect.
no, all yes. And I know that everyone is active on LinkedIn. I
Okay,
don't
so
think anyone
everyone is
is
active. Thanks for those responses, and each one will be at different levels of engagement. We may have a profile, but we may not be creating any level of engagement. Now, there may be certain organizational constraints, etc. So now let me take a step back and let me clear a few doubts, which a lot of people do not are very clear about. Now, networking, right? When we go to an event, when I interact with somebody, right? Invariably, we find, I'll tell you, you will find it as you go out and interact, everybody wants to tell about himself, right? Everybody, I sell this product, I work for this company. But let me tell you very, very categorically with a lot of conviction, networking is all about the other person. It is first what I want to know is happening. What are the initiatives Pradeep ji has been doing? When I meet him, his family, where did he last travel? So to me, and the right definition is all about taking interest in the person who you're meeting. Oh, what is happening? And from there, you would realize you start to build a two-way communication. So to me, networking is that. It is not about, oh, here is my business card. I work for this firm. That is not networking. Networking is purely about the other person. And as a result, we build the conversation. We build these lasting relationships and bridges, right? So networking is also about what I can give to my network, right? So I see a fantastic 7 days wherein all these, your senior fellow CAs are coming, putting in their best, wholeheartedly contributing, thinking of getting nothing in return, right? Because in their heart and their soul, they want to contribute. They want to give back, right? So networking, again, another definition is what I can give. Because when I give by good karma or by, deeds, I will get back. That is the universal truth we all know about, right? Now on the right, I've got a picture. This is a very interesting story. A friend told me. I took that mantra and applied in my life, in my entrepreneurial journey. I have this friend who's friend with Mickey Jagtiani's son, and when we were having a dinner, I said, jokingly asked him, he says, oh, I've been to Mr. So Mickey Jagtiani, for people who don't know, he's one of the largest conglomerates in our region, based out of Dubai. He started his business in Bahrain in 1973. Great retail success story, right? Multi-billion-dollar business. So when this friend of mine went and met Mickey, and he asked him, give me that one tip which you think is very important that I should inculcate or has been a part of your successful journey. So yes, we all need perseverance, we need hard work, we need integrity, all those management, right, jargons. So we're not talking of those jargons. It is understood those jargons are in place. The only one single tip which Mickey gave my friend was spend your 50% time with people who you don't know. Now, if you think this little deep, it has a very, very deep meaning, right? It basically means we all, based on our personalities, we tend to work around our friends, right? Evening, I'll have a call, I go and meet the same friend. Now, typically, may not be so much relevant in your early on CA journeys, right? But let's say there's an entrepreneur, right? He goes and network, he meets his friend, but can that bring you an opportunity, right? Or you going out for an ICAI event, right? Which let's say your city is organizing and you say, oh, I don't want to go, I'm busy, right? We all are busy in our lives. But do we take that step? Because there I will go and meet a new senior CA, right? Or a CFO. I will learn something from him. I will, build my network. So moral of the story, summary is we need to go out, irrespective whether we are an introvert or an extrovert, we need to go out, build those relationships, build those hellos and start the conversation. So fundamentally, networking is all about, Pradeep ji started with telling a story, right? How we discussed. So life is all about storytelling, right? So my key message here from this thought, which I thought is very important, is to set the tone that LinkedIn in a way is linked to how we network. So that is more of a virtual platform. We need to take those virtual things into real life situations as well, right? So that to me is, so we want to spend time with people that can help us elevate us. They say, right, we are an average sum of the people who are around us, right? We all want to get elevated. So the better friends, informed people I have around them, the more inspired I will be to do better in life, which is what we all.
Yeah, Vishal, before you move forward, you made a comment that some people may know Mickey. So I wanted to comment that I believe Max has become very popular brand in India, which has opened many showrooms, and maybe also Splash and some other brands. So with those brands, I think our participants can link to Mickey Jagtiani because those are owned by his group. Yeah, am I right, Vishal?
And absolutely, and just to add, Max is a $1 billion brand now, and literally from zero to a great success story, value brand in the fashion space. So you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
They're doing well in India as well. Now, so from networking, we set the context. Why is networking important? Why we need to, irrespective whether we are introverted, extroverted. Now, I would slowly move into why is personal, why is, us as personal brands. As I said, everything is interlinked. Company is us, we are brand, right? So if you work for PwC, you're all interlinked. You're known as somebody who works and contributes for the organization. At the same time, you are contributing. So it's a two-way story, right? Okay, so in the world of small business, so the line between personal and, as we said, is very, very thin, right? So your company's brand is your brand, which is as much in the formula of success around which we want to build in. So it starts with building your personal profile. So your personal brand is eventually what will you get? It will help us to drive. So if you're in early stage of your careers, drive referrals. What is referral for you when you're early stage of your career? Possibly job opportunities, internship opportunities. When you go out and interact with people, you will know there are more internships or a new profile, or you meet, you want to move into corporate finance. As you grow up in your life journey, these are the referrals. When you have gone out, exchanged cards, met, interacted, people will remember you, or you have. So it's a very powerful expression. They say a lot of times we are shy of not asking, right? Now, a lot of people are pretty okay, right? If I go and say, if I just make a very simple statement, I'll address that to Pradeep ji. Pradeep ji, if I just make a statement, Pradeep ji, I have this great idea. I'm very much willing to contribute. So can you give me an audience with your TA students? I think they're going to benefit. And I am not seeking. I just want to, I think I really love students. I want to contribute. So what do you think his response will be, right? He's sitting as the regional director. His role is to develop the whole, ICAI across the region. His answer, I think, would be yes, right, Pradeep ji?
Yeah, surely.
So I think we should never undermine the power of asking. Never be shy, right? If you have seen the movie Mahendra Singh Dhoni, right, in one of the scenes, the coach tells him, okay, you will go at this particular down in batting. He says, sir, can you allow me in the first down? He says, why? He says, I can hit more, right? So I think it's a very, very profound statement in which what you are saying is ask. There is no harm in, it's like, you want to tell your boss, okay, can I take more responsibility? Can I do this? I don't mind staying 1 hour late, right? I want to do it. So I think that the whole thing which is coming out here is we need to go and contribute. We need to go and ask. And then you will see by good karma, goodwill, good deeds, things will come back to you, right? And in a way, you're building your credibility. and you are, building around you a whole pool of positive energy. So LinkedIn is now again, I'm talking of. We'll get into the actual LinkedIn stuff into a little more detail, but basically, again, there are different people who come with different school of perceptions and thoughts. So if I may just talk about, in LinkedIn, there are some people I find who would say, well, I choose if I get an invite, I choose whether I want to add that person or not. Fair enough. And there are people who would say, I don't care, I would add. Then there'll be a person who will say, oh, I've been receiving a lot of junk, right? Let me be selective. I make sure to go and click the profile, read the person, and then, so now again, all of them,
Vishan, your voice has gone, Vishan.
Mr. Vishal, we are unable to hear you.
Vishan, I think there's some connection issue. Let me try to call Vishal.
Please do tell him. Mr. Vishal, are we audible to you? Mr. Vishal, can you hear us?
I think he must be reconnected.
Okay. You can see, right?
We had lost the voice 1 minute back. Yeah, we had lost your voice 1 minute back.
There was some
Okay.
After you said about the people, those who will look at a profile, read it, and then decide. So after that, we lost you.
Okay. The screen is fine, right?
Screen also gone. You will have to share again.
Okay, I have to share it again. You're right. So, is it back now?
Yeah. Just slide.
Full screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry. So we have to be ready for all emergencies, right? We are dealing with tech, as Mr. Khan said.
Yes.
So it's all about, so we need to build our own strategy. Now I'll tell you what I feel is I don't mind anybody adding, right? And then you of course have a thought process and a strategy around it, which I will get into once we get into those slides. So add more connections. So my simple view would be, why would anybody want to just add, right? I mean, I'm thinking out loud and good. So my tendency is to add whoever sends me an invite. Now it could be somebody asking a certain question. I get client queries. I get somebody sending in a CV, etc. One of the practices I have adopted is to try to respond to everyone. The last thing you want to sound is arrogant. That is the worst thing. The world is round. We need to come from that school of thought, right? You do good will happen. So if somebody is sending you a query, do as much as you can. If you don't have time on a working day, try to still respond. It just gives you never know, tomorrow you are doing a project. Many years back, I can still recall LinkedIn had a polling option. Okay. And I was doing my master's and I had a dissertation. LinkedIn has taken off that polling option now. And I remember putting my whole dissertation research question, and it was around real estate, and I had good 25, 30 responses, B2B from the people who I wanted. So it's people who were in your network, and then you reached out. LinkedIn had that option. Then, there was a separate poll option, and I was able to successfully do it. So moral of the story is I'm pretty open. Anybody who wants to write anything whatsoever, I try to respond if it is to my best of my capability. So as we meet, as you meet, this is, when we spoke, you would go to live events, you may meet somebody, you may meet a friend. So make it a habit. You can have your own schedule. You could do it end of your day. You can do it over your weekend. Try to go and add people, right? Send them an invite. my suggestion is write a statement that we met here, give it some context. It looks nice. It looks more professional, right? And do not send too many introductory requests, right? Because after a point, LinkedIn's algorithms recognize that this person is just spamming, right? So after a point, they may take off because initially LinkedIn gives you certain free introduction requests, right? So use them wisely, don't waste them, right? So there is a normal ordinary account, there is a paid account. So I'm just talking of the ordinary account. So don't lose your introductions by just sending, because it is also possible somebody who met you, he may send you an invite as well, right? So it's both ways. So let's move into with the paucity of time. I wish I would have opened LinkedIn and walked you through the process, but I think we're constrained on time. So I'm going to talk about each step quickly. So LinkedIn, your profile is your story, right? So starting with where we started, right? We all are come from this school of thought that we all have stories, and when I get into LinkedIn, I'm trying to convey a story, convey a message, and those are the things which you would see literally go viral. And of course, there are then more technicalities, whether it's a video content, whether it's, there are certain, mostly you would find things which go viral, find a very strong emotional connect with a particular target audience it is meant for, right? So if you were in the corporate life, right? So the video which Pradeep ji spoke about, which I had posted with a nice story, was about, it's a very interesting video. These two companies do, videos on themselves, which is Mercedes and BMW. So you have this video in which the CEO is retiring, right? And then so they show him giving his ID back. He's got, his eyes are wet, and then the driver drops him home, and then he's seen coming out of the garage driving a BMW, right? So this ad was made by BMW, right? Wherein they show this, so they show respect and humility to the CEO of Mercedes who is retiring, right? So that is the right thing to do. And then they bring in this kind of humor and pun that he enters the house and he opens his garage and he drives a BMW. So that particular, video, it's in the right taste, right spirit. I wouldn't say it's offensive. So the point is, a lot of people like us who are in this call, we will find it connecting to us, right? It's around a company. It's about a CEO. It's about a story. It's about somebody retiring. You tend to connect, right? With your family, with your past, with your parents, with your environment around you. So you tend to like it, and then you tend to put a comment around it. And then you will also share it. Once you share it, the whole thing, boom, 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 tends to go viral. So this is how typically you would find. So fundamentally in that video, the storytelling was very, very compelling and powerful. So let's start with what and how do we makes a good profile. So very important, we are all professionals in this call, right? We're all professional CAs who will eventually become CFOs, right? So I want to portray a very nice professional image. This is not Facebook. This is not Instagram. I need to get a professionally clicked picture done. And here I would say, I don't mean the passport photo. Passport photo is straight, I'm erect, right? White background, I'm not talking of that. There are your professional photo can be slightly tilted, right? Wear a nice jacket or whatever and then that will take it from in the right resolution. LinkedIn gives you certain specifications. So I would want you to have a very professional looking picture, because your profile is what my first impression about the person who I want to interact with is, right? That's my first impression. First impression, as they say, is the last impression also. Have your name fully. Now, again, here there is the trick. You would find certain people again, they tend to be creative. So they would put their first name, second name, and then there is still space. If you look at the last name, they may say keynote speaker. They will add a few things as an extension. So if I'm a videographer, right? So I may write #1 videographer in New Delhi, right? It just looks a little different. It's just that I have thought a little differently. So feel free to do that, right? There is nothing wrong, right? You could say an unconventional finance professional, right? I think little differently, which is fine, right? I do my work during my office hours, but I tend to approach finance differently, right? Which is fine. That is me. That is my story. That is who I am. Moving ahead, then this gives you an option to choose your industry. So in your case will be financial services. I'll move little quickly for the paucity of time. We outline our job descriptions. Some of us can have multiple job descriptions. System will only allow you to put one. You can only add it under your profile name. It's very important. It's important to put, LinkedIn goes on adding newer features. So it now has an option of full-time, part-time contract. Even when you put your company, your current roles, it will give you your scroll down. Full-time, part-time contract. A lot of terminologies are more prevalent in the West. Fill it up. Don't leave anything, right? Because when you fill the whole profile, it will show you, you will get an indication that your profile is fully complete, right? Keep it always completed. So from location, designation. Now this is a very important description which comes at the beginning, where I find different people use it differently. You may find a CFO who is very busy, right? He's not filled his whole profile. He may have done 7 jobs. He's not filled them. He may just put in bullet points, right? His career summary over here, right? Because of him not finding time. Whether it's right or wrong, we're not discussing that. That is again a way of showcasing it. A very, it's not a CV, it's more of a bio, right? It's fine. As a CFO, he can do it, right? He can still have you can put your achievements, etc. So for you can just start out by saying what you are doing, etc. Or what is it that you want to showcase. But this is important because whether it's a recruiter reading, who will read? LinkedIn is read by somebody who is looking, right? So you need to be visible. We all are faithful to our careers, to our jobs, right? Organizations, we all move, right? It's part of life, right? So you need to, as a new professional, it's very important you keep your profile always updated. If you're busy, visit once a week at least. I would recommend every day. If you're busy, if not every day, every 2-3 days, and I'll give you certain hacks which you may adopt and embrace, because I think it's important. This is on an online platform. You don't want to be in Facebook. Keep it personal. Instagram. There are recruiters, by the way, right? And there have been instances, it's funny, but it's true that there are recruiters who have not shortlisted certain candidates, because there are some recruiters who will go into your LinkedIn profile, then he'll go to your Facebook profile, then he'll check your Instagram profile. And the person found certain not so good pictures, right, which somebody had put in Facebook. So what the recruiter is making, he's making a perception that, oh, this personality fit does not go with my organization. So the question to ask here, so Mr. Mubin made very valid points. Do I want that? None of us want that, right? So while we live in a social age, we have to conduct our lives because to keep this as an underlining message that there are recruiters who do and who will visit your Facebook page. So be conscious of not posting. I would avoid in social media anything religious. I would avoid in social media anything political. I mean, I can have views. Why do I want to put it in Facebook, right? We all land up fighting as friends, right? We live in democratic countries. There will always be one party winning, one party losing, right? So why do I want to show that in my Facebook page and create a negative connotation in my best friend's mind? Leave it, not worth it, right? I'm sure you are all mature. So LinkedIn is why I brought Facebook in context, because recruiters may go and look into your Facebook page. So please be aware of that. Now, there is another feature. This is a very good feature in LinkedIn. It's called featured profile. Now, tomorrow, let's say somebody has won an award in the organization. Obviously, you will have please read your organizational code of conduct, what you're allowed to share, what you're not allowed to share. So if you get a best employee of the month, quarter, year award, it's a certificate, something, right? Feature will allow you to make it as a post, and then there's a click button on the right side, which will make it appear as a feature, which basically means when I look at my LinkedIn profile, first cover page, when I'm looking at my own page, it will show as a feature, which means if anybody else is seeing so when he's scrolling down, he'll see the feature article. So the key message from the slide is pick up something good which you want to showcase as part of your personality, work, giving back. It could be charity, it could be social work. That can come in as a featured article. This is basically the experience which I was speaking about. It's important to highlight. Now this can have my responsibilities. To me, this should also have certain achievements. And again, find out what is it that you can, write. In my LinkedIn profile, I have put a lot of client work. So I write market and financial feasibility on this. I don't write the client name, right? Or I may even change if it is on cosmetics, I may write lotion study, right? So the purpose here is we don't want to compromise on client data. Client is first. We have all confidentiality agreements with our company. We sign a contract, right? Similarly, our employer has a confidentiality thing. So we have to respect that. So clearly be aware what you should be writing here. And then if the achievement is right, please write the achievement, because that is something which a recruiter or somebody who wants to collaborate with you, he's interested in that, right? In summary. So this is about your experience. You will, as you move jobs, careers, you will have this. Title, your full-time, we have already discussed. Company name, location. So this will all show. You have to click when you started a job. If you did an internship, if you did a management development program for an IM, write it. There is an option under certifications. Mention that, right? It will show. Description, we have discussed. Then any volunteering work, right? You may contribute something to ICAI going forward, right? Write that. I contributed this. I organized a blood donation camp. It basically shows my personality, and why not, right? So please share all these things. These are very important. There is a skill endorsement thing which LinkedIn used to have differently earlier on. Now this is little up for debate. What it does is you have to choose your skills and endorsements, and clients or your friends, etc., they can be requested to endorse you. So there are two ways to endorse a person. One is all these skill sets. So you can write audit, outsourcing, accounting, all those keywords. So I can go and click. So it will show you as now. Really, people don't see this as, nobody will go and count, oh, this guy has 100 clicks on accounting, right? So he's a great, no. There is a different testimonial thing, which is if you see slightly down, which is called the recommendations. Now these are things which you can ask your, generally I find people when they have left organizations, then you ask your former employer or your boss, or if you worked in an organization for 4-5, your immediate boss may want to write, or it could be your client, or it could be if you went to a business school or a college, it could be that teacher, right? So, or it could be your best friend, right? Your best friend sees an X trait in me. He feels good about it, right? And it's a positive trait. He can write a testimonial. So it will show as it will give me a scroll down option. I'm writing this as a client. I'm writing this as a colleague. Am I writing this as a co-student, right? So please utilize these tools. These are all step by step. You're building your brand, your personality. You're showcasing your story. So from here, we would move into where we started, which is the most important part. So once my profile is done, we need to, and then I'm a little savvy kind, right? So we need to think of, if you say if I want to share certain information on a daily basis, you need to come up with a strategy or a plan, right? Based on what you like. Now, what you may be posting, something could be out of your interest area. It could be around your hobby area. It could be around your work, right, which you are doing. It could be a success story. So please try to attach a picture. It gives you a better visual appeal. If there is a video, so one is it that I'm creating a post, right? I'm publishing it, right? And then I'm posting it. You may tag people, because when you tag people may like it and comment, right?
Yeah,
Another important thing.
Vishal,
Yes.
just can we conclude in 2 minutes? Yeah, because another
We can.
meeting.
Yeah, we can. So these were certain best practices. So in summary, I will quickly summarize the points, what I call as the best practices. So share your authenticity, your voice, what personality trait you want to show, right? Post frequently, start a conversation and comment on other people's posts, right? Include content which you are passionate about or you feel is compelling, right, as a story, and create an opportunity of reciprocity. And think about your audience. Who am I trying to address this to? Am I trying to solve a problem? Am I just sharing a piece of information? Article length matters. Don't post something which is very big. I think we can move on this. So this is how your page looks typically, which is your home page. LinkedIn allows you to see who is visiting your profile, total and number of contacts you have, number of contacts that you have. So this is a good screen around your start your day, build your strategy, whether you want to do it over your weekend or on a daily basis. So have a strategy in place. Last, summarizing the whole thing, create a winning profile, stay informed to get ahead. Keep top of the mind status updates, right? Depending on what you define as your strategy, contribute to your network. In summary, I would say LinkedIn networking is all about what I can give to the network. Automatically, good things will happen to you. Thank you so much. And please do send me an invite so we can, and anything I can do. This is the first thing we would do. I mean, obviously I can't see you all. So with this, I conclude my presentation, Pradeep ji. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
privilege.
Thank you so much, Vishal. We have 5 questions, and I think the members can address to you when they connect on LinkedIn. So we have our chairman, C.A. Hansraj Chok sir, and I hand over to chairman sir for the valedictory session. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Prabdeep. I really understand and appreciate the way you, along with Ranganathan ji, the secretary of the committee, all through these 7 days in continuity have brought and managed the show very effectively. Though normally we talk about the spirit and the contribution of the speakers at the very first stage, but the organizers and the contributors like you and Ranganathan ji is always stands with us. This is 4th program in the row, and it will be continuing. It is not like it is ending with. Thanks to both of you for taking a lead and taking the time out and bringing out for the benefit of the younger ones. It is well said. If you give anything, the person really need it. So that is the best contribution with. These younger ones need at this moment of time, because of the clarity or because of the thought, how to be taken a lead, so that time if being spent in the investment of the getting knowledge, it will return manifold in the time to come, shaping the financial strength and the shaping so many life's objective also. Today we have two friends, Vishal Pandeyji. I just heard in the last regarding this, the social media, or we talk about the LinkedIn or the other engagements, and succeeding in the system, because every informed decision any comes in, or if you share your own information to anyone else, so that is the advantage, and I really appreciate the Vishal Pandeyji. I am really very grateful and thankful to you for the taking your time out, though definitely no words, things cannot be expressed in the words, number of ways, but naturally we have no other manner. We cannot online give you any kind of memento even, but I'll request Ranganathanji to create some kind of the recognition system, so that they should be recognized also. Whosoever has contributed in the last 4 sessions. Pradeep ji, to you also,
Yes.
we can really get some recognition kind of certificate, so we must share
Yes,
with
sir.
them. I'm very
Yeah.
thankful to my other friend from the Muscat, Mubin Khan Saab also. Khan Saab, very thankful to you for really making us more stronger, our younger friends from the all across, making them more stronger to understand and get control on the better understanding on the tech side. Naturally, tech savvy is the need of the hour, and naturally one has to be starting as a professional accountant or the professional chartered accountant. It has become the necessity. In our time, it was not the need. So I'm very thankful to Mubin Khan Saab, to you, and hope your relationship with the ICI, with the different branches or the different regional council or the committees or the chapters will continue to you will continue to be associated whenever anyone needs you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You see, like during the last last 7 days, today is the last day, but all across, though I present myself on the very first day also, but during the last 5 days, whosoever been there with us, I'm very grateful and thankful to them also. Neeraj Ritolia ji from the Abu Dhabi, he is a good friend of mine. I'm very grateful and thankful to him also. He spent the last day, the day before, good time here for the benefit of the young members. Krishnan Envi Saab from the Dubai only, Gaurav Kakkarji from Doha. Similarly, a day before, Kamal Gargji from New Delhi, he happens to be a good friend of mine. Charu, also from Dubai, the good time spent for the benefit of the young ones. It is not like for the benefit of the young ones, for the benefit of the whole of the profession. Because if we see like any strength is been brought into them, that is a strength for the profession if we can measure it. And I am fortunate enough, being a chairman of the committee for member industry and business. It is not only in India, we are finding so many good friends, resource people from the abroad also. I was just discussing with Ranganathanji today also when I was there in the ICI headquarters. We have to reach, now we are a global profession. Now we have to reach out to each and every nook and corner. It is not the opportunities here in our country or we are the global trained. We are trained globally, whether it is the younger ones or the senior ones. So same way we took the initiative to reach out to the embassies across the globe at a different level under the leadership of our President Nihar Jambu Saryaji and the Vice President Dr. Devashish ji. They are guide to us, and this committee is doing wonders during this year with the support of the Secretariat and with the support of my co-chairman Durgesh Kabra ji and other committee members. I'm very thankful to Silpa Tiwari and the Nikunj Shah. Both happens to be from India, one from New Delhi and one from Mumbai, for taking the time out and getting into with the amazing sessions for the young chartered accountants. Same way, Subhasri Sundaram and Satyamurthy Ramanujam ji from Chennai and one from Bahrain. These are basically a contribution, though the other contribution which cannot be, if not addressed, so that will really be not good for at my part, because they are been in the system a great contributor like Amit Arora ji and Nandan Banderkar Saab, they have really been brought so many amazing lessons. Basically, you see, like the successful career as a chartered accountant, and the media has emerged as a successful career. You see, like it is not the chartered accountants is just a qualification. It opens up the vision. Now, how do you utilize that vision? Maybe into the job, maybe into the practice, maybe as an entrepreneur, maybe with the media also. We have so many media personality in our system as a chartered accountant. G Business, a man from our fraternity, it is there. In the other media houses also, maybe not only in India, across. Because we are strong in command, the knowledge, the intellectual base and the mind strength and the now communication skills also. In our time, the soft skill was not being considered of that much importance. But nowadays, the globe has shown us the way. Without having a command on the communication, without having a command on the soft skill, things cannot move the faster you want to be. So we have to be strong. For the younger ones, just I'll share with each one of you, must have give the equal importance to the soft skill, equal importance to the representation or the presentation or the communication or the verbal or the writing. So those kind of things will making you more stronger, paving you the way to go with the speed and accuracy. With those kind of things you have to move with. Global opportunity, powerful session, powerful group from the people around us from Dubai, moderator Sundar Nurani ji from Dubai, Dinesh Kothari ji, an entrepreneur, all entrepreneurial brains, Nilesh Bhatnagar ji, Rajesh Singh ji, K.N. Agarwal Saab, Ajay Gupta ji from Kenya. They have brought us so many good things for the youngers to understand with. There is a way, once you find a place there, your zeal starts coming into. So it is the first point is the power can only be unleashed with once you make your mind stronger. If you feel like you are with a clarity, and clarity in the thought and sincerity in the efforts is the only way to succeed with. Though मैंने पहले भी जो है in my first session also I spoken with nothing without the hard work. The only thing which comes along which can get you into the successful, सफलता की एक ही कुंजी कड़ी मेहनत, दूरदृष्टि, पक्का इरादा, अनुशासन. If you have a command on this, if you have a control on all these things, rest of the quality starts coming into on the way, and then it is a success. So friends, my younger ones, for them I'm very grateful and thankful to them for though definitely in their own interest, but making any program successful, their presence is of the much importance, and I'm very grateful and thankful to each of them for joining us and taking a lead for strengthening them up by way of the better understanding, by enhancing their skill, intellectual as well as mental strength. Wish them a great luck, great career ahead. Thank you everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have another program at 8 p.m. That is why I was a little bit in a hurry also. So that is why. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you Vishal ji. Thank you Mubin साहब. Khan साहब धन्यवाद आपका भी.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you Ranga ji. Thank you Prabdeep.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Before we close, I would request Ranganathan ji if sir, you can also share some thoughts on Vishal's presentation. And
definitely. In fact, our chairman came and he gave vote of thanks to all the speakers that were engaged on the last 7 days. But I will focus particularly on CA Vishal Pandey ji. It was a great learning, sir, that you gave us about how to get connected in LinkedIn. There are, in fact, our younger generation knows about LinkedIn. They are all there in the LinkedIn, but then there are some very finer points of do's and don'ts which you had really brought on the table. You explained the importance of networking and how LinkedIn is linked to networking, exchanging ideas, creation of intellect, growth in self-confidence, developing relationship, and networking is what the best point is that it is what you can offer and not what you can get. The mantra of meeting new people, developing skill of telling a story, meeting new people and getting ideas from which are different from your own, were all very fantastic. You also touched upon the importance of personal brand and how it is closely linked to company's brand and how to build one's link profile. The tips that you gave for building one's own link profile were fantastic. Thank you so very much, sir, for a very, very, very wonderful session. Grateful to you.
So much, sir. It's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vishal. I would like to tell the participants that our last two batches, 5th and 6th batch schedule has been scheduled, but that in this series it will get close. There have been some recommendations from speakers coming in, which we see on social media every day. So those won't be possible part of this series, but definitely there will be another series which will start, and committee will explore what can be done. So I would like to tell that we are taking just a 2 days break. We are back on 12th June. The communication will reach to all of you. So please do join us. There are many exciting things which will go on until 28th of June, and hope to see you every day. So that's it. Thank you, Vishal. Thank you, Mubin.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, Ranganathanji. Thank you.
Thank you, Pandey sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be safe. Take care. Good night. Bye.
Good night.